Well, looky what we have here.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to be playing Trials very poorly, but
What?
somehow
No,
managing
we're
to
not.
get 4 wins so far.
Who said that? What's the weapon? Doesn't sound good
4
to me.
wins is better than nothing.
Yeah, the first 2 came pretty quickly. The second 2, less so.
Not so much. Is it single?
More of a slog, more of a beating your head against the wall, but eventually the wall will give.
Yeah, I told you.
Supremacy, on the other hand, supremacy we do not speak of.
But I thought Supremacy was your game mode, Mr. Gambit.
Oh, it is? It's just when you're playing
Just not today.
with 5 random people on your side, and they have a 3-stack of Trials Hunter Gods, it doesn't go well for anyone.
Touch the button.
Also, all the Titans I've played with don't PvP at all. I have seen more glaives in a PvP arena than any other time in my entire life, which I'm sure sounds good in theory.
This
not so
sounds
much
like it's going to be
application.
a very fun show then. So, shall I just roll the titles, wait for him to finish fiddling with his audio, and then we can get started?
Sounds
I'm
amazing.
fiddling with my audio. Y'all, neither one of y'all mentioned that y'all can hear me.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, but you were talking in the background like you couldn't hear us, so I assumed that you were still fiddling. So
No,
that's why I'm going to roll the titles.
Soon.
No, you can't talk now. Titles are rolling. That's it.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Night Demon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
It wasn't clear if you were talking to us.
Never clear.
Well, it does sound like, yeah, it sounds like you're somewhere else today on a different microphone. It sounds like you're muffled.
Does it now?
It sounds like you're in bed under the covers with a microphone, basically.
No, I haven't.
Maybe his OnlyFans recording ran long, and now we're just getting the end of that. His ASMR OnlyFans that he runs on the side.
So I thought you two were playing together when I saw the message, is anyone up? And then you put I am now. I thought, oh, okay, they're playing together again.
Nope, that was I said I'm awake now, and that was the last I heard of it.
Oh, okay.
There was no follow up. So, I mean, to be fair, he did message it at 4:43 in the morning.
Yeah.
At which point I was asleep.
Well, I've seen you talk about you being online at some weird ass times before playing with Night Demon and whatnot. So
Yeah, you're not wrong. We tried the other night. We gave a valiant effort. We planned and everything. I put it on the calendar. I set an alarm, and then Bungie was like, instead of playing Trials, what if we just took the game down the entire day?
I was genuinely upset because every single time that the clocks change, there's always an issue that stops us from playing together for longer. And I'm like, this is one of those days that we could have played up until normal reset time or normal, we're going to turn the servers off time. And I was like genuinely upset by it that they decided to do that.
Yeah, and they were like, or we could just turn things off the entire day and say, you don't get to have nice things. You don't get to play the game. You get to look at the game and apparently maybe get yourself some unskinned, unfinished weapon archetypes when the game comes back online. What I've seen people showing off this week.
Was real? I thought Astrocross was just being a troll.
Oh no.
Oh
yeah, no.
It's there now.
Right to the 9. Right to the 9. Yeah. I was like last rights, 9 rights, right to the 9. Yeah, was live on launch, and apparently I saw somewhere, I can't remember where, if it was Bungie or Bungie and the TWAB or elsewhere, saying I think 223, 226, 220 something people have got through it in the brief amount of time it was online. So they've been showing off. I think DMG was like, "Hey, show me your new loot of, do you have the totally plasticky looking one? Do you have the greeny looking one? Which unskinned weapon do you have?" Which makes me now immediately want an unskinned weapon,
It's
for
not
my
gonna stay like that
gameplay.
anyway.
No, I know it's not, but I want one now. I want to have a weapon that's just smooth, pure, nothing on it.
Looks like a Crayola that shoots bullets.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So yeah, welcome to the show this week. Night Demon is here, as always. Peroty is always here. And Mr. No One Respawns is always here. Just we don't know where he is. He's somewhere and he's recording the show with us.
I'm in Detroit.
Detroit, Michigan.
That's right.
Yeah. What up, Detroit?
Where in the world is Respawn this week?
So yeah, there was a lot of stuff that's been implemented into the game. Some of it is meant to be there, some of it is not meant to be there, and people found it pretty quick, and it was very fun to play.
So the
I was a little
trial
bit
thing is
upset.
gone now, I'm guessing, since it wasn't.
Well, I was a little bit upset because I logged on to do the Eververse store and the Shader One stuff, and didn't even look at all the stuff flashing on the director. I was like, I just want to get the video done, and then I can nip off to work and then come back and have a look at it properly. And then whilst I was at work, I was getting all of these Bungie alerts going, we are aware that the Rite of 9 is available. And I'm like, damn it, how did I miss that one? And then they're like, we can see that people are playing it and people are getting weapons and people are getting this and people are completing it. And then they were like, we're going to shut off the servers for emergency maintenance. And then they were like, hang on a minute, we're not going to do that.
Just kidding.
We are just going to leave it there, but disable it. We can do that. So you can go and look at it. You can go and look at all the little nodes and go, ooh,
Wow.
but you can't go into it now. But if you were in it at the time, you got access to it. And they were like steamrolling through those dungeons, some of the pros, like, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But it was just one of those magical things that just happened. And if you were there at the time, a bit like Peroty's infinite glitch for his enhancement cores that he got access to that time. And I'm like, I was so jealous. I was like, get on there now. He's like, yeah. And then I could, because I couldn't. I was like, no. And then again, we had that this week. And again, I missed it with the infinite turn it in, pick up the contender things for the Guardian games, your class items, and then just dismantle them because they were 1,000 glimmer to buy. And once you dismantled it, you got the 1,000 glimmer back and you got an enhancement core. So people would just do it over and over and over and over again. And by the time I'd seen the Chiefs for every video and got back from work, I was like, oh, it's disabled, isn't it? It's gone.
But speaking of magic, though, how in the world? Like every day I logged in this week, and I did log in every day, and I did a lot of.
I know. I've had reports. People have been quite concerned. They said, "Where is our monster hunter? He's logging into Destiny. I've seen him in the tower. I've played with him. He's been playing Destiny. All this talk about monster hunter, he's in Destiny. He lied to you."
The point I was making is every
monster
day.
Hunter's over.
It is.
Well, I mean, I've unlocked all the things I can get until the next expansion.
See, it's over.
But anyway, the thing I was like, every day Titans were at the top. Their flag was at the highest mast every day, every single day. And then I get the thing that's like, hunters win.
What? Did you also get the thing that said, "Oh, by the way, you can't turn anything except on a warlock"?
Yeah, I did see that. I did. That's why I also assumed. I mean, I just gave up in the beginning because the whole thing is dumb. The matters like they aren't real.
We did say that. We did say that last week. We said just go in, get the stuff that you want to kind of get out of the Guardian games. Get the emblems, get your enhancement cores, get your ghosts, sparrows, whatever's free available for kind of just playing the event. And just don't worry about what the flags are saying, what the crests are saying. Just go and have fun and get the loot out of it, basically. Because now it's just one of those things. It just comes around, we do it, and then we just see. It's not. I think the first couple of years it was more of a competition, and it was more of like getting en masse people to kind of play one character. Now it's kind of just become that kind of
a competition. The second year, hunters were peeved because they fudged the numbers. The third year, the hunters knew it was coming, but the Titan Vanguard died, so we're like, they need to have this. And then now it's just a way to get weapons, and they try to make it a competition.
It's a fun game, But I do remember that banner popping up. So if you're unaware, there was a banner that popped up on the Friday reset for the coronation ceremony that they have to say that the Hunters had won the 2025 Guardian Games, and we're only like 3 or 4 days into it. And I do believe it happened last year, but wasn't it Titans or Warlocks? Oh, it might have even been Hunters.
It was Titans last year because it was Hunters last year that won. Yeah, it was the Titans the year before.
Yeah, no.
But the banner that popped up incorrectly.
The banner that popped up, that literally popped up that first week, and then everyone, I don't know, this looks really sus. And then I think, wasn't it Warlocks or no? Maybe it was Hunters that won. Again, see, completely forgotten who's won. I'm not keeping a track. But yeah, there was a banner issue last year, and people were a bit sus about it. This year they've done it again.
Well, in order, it was the Hunters first, and then the Warlocks, and then the Titans, and then the Hunters again, and now I guess the Hunters again. Big question mark?
I don't know.
That flag was never higher than anybody else's.
Bungie, what I would like to question, I mean, I'm not really bothered that you put the wrong banner up. What I am concerned about is that you can't put a banner up telling me and telling the rest of the community what is happening next week in Destiny that you used to do. You've done a banner for Hunters that haven't even won the Guardian Games.
No way to know.
You cannot tell what you used to do. What is happening next week? Well, there is a way to know.
It's because they don't know.
You listen to the man that writes things down and says, this is what's going to be available next week.
Just have them hire you. Reach out to Bungie. Like, look, I do this for free for you every week. Just let me do it.
No, I can do the next best thing. I can put it in the podcast. I can make a video of it. And I can get it out to as many people as possible. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to drop that in now because I'm talking about it now. And then we can come back and revisit this Guardian Games escapades. Sounds like a plan.
It does.
This is your weekly rundown of episode Heresy, week 7, starting on March 18th. Act 2 of episode Heresy continues this week, with more story, more Dreadnought exploration, and new activity, the Court of Blades. Set within the Dreadnought's Hold of Souls area, players are transported to different arenas across the system, from Io to Europa and on board a Hive warship. The Court of Blades comes with new augments available for each run, which provide challenges for players to overcome in many different ways. These augments will stack the more that the Guardians play the activity, which can be different combinations for every run, and the difficulty will start to escalate after every 2 challenges. In addition, there will be a random set of armaments that will rotate on a daily basis, which players will be able to purchase and combine between phases, allowing them to combat those augmented challenges. The Court of Blades is available in normal and expert versions, with the adept versions of the Act 2 weapons only dropping in the expert version. Also, the annual Guardian Games event enters its 2nd week, where Hunters, Warlocks and Titans compete against each other for honour, gear and the bragging rights that come with being the winners of the Guardian Games. You can choose between Guardian Games Supremacy, Guardian Games Class vs Class Gambit, or the new boss rush mode called Rushdown, where Guardians battle a series of bosses taken from Destiny 2's campaigns, seasonal story missions, and exotic missions. With each boss encounter defeated, combatants in the activities increase in difficulty, with a total of 5 encounters per run. You also have a time limit to complete the run, with time added for each successful encounter completion. Completing encounters in a run will earn you rewards, with faster times offering a chance for more drops or higher quality loot. Guardians have 3 ways to play Rushdown. You can start with the warm-up mode, which will be your entry point for the activity. Standard and expert modes then ramp up the difficulty, offering more powerful combatants with modifiers and adding revive tokens into the mix. Each mode will offer options for standard matchmaking, class-based matchmaking, and private fire teams. You can increase your score by completing encounters quickly, and earning bonus points for extra time remaining. Limiting your use of revive tokens will also increase your score, as you get bonuses for unused tokens. And completing at least 3 encounters in any mode will guarantee a Guardian Games weapon drop for that run. Rushdown has 5 score thresholds: Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. And reaching higher thresholds in the Standard and Expert modes will improve your chances for additional perks on Guardian Games weapon drops for that run. Higher scores in Expert mode will also offer the chance to earn fully masterwork Guardian Games weapons with additional perks. Last year introduced Skimmers as a brand new exotic vehicle category for Destiny 2. The All-Star Vector Skimmer is again available for anybody to earn during the Guardian Games event. Just pick it up from Eva Levante after completing the onboard mission quest. And if you want to keep it permanently after the event finishes, complete the drop-in quest and the All-Star Vector will be yours to keep forever. Don't forget that to take part in the Guardian Games you'll need to visit Eva Levante at the tower, where she will gift you a class item which is needed for the competition as well as the quest. Wearing your class item is how you earn medallions and unlock quest progression, as well as the challenges from the event card. The goal of the Guardian Games is simple. Your class must win the majority of the days during the 3-week-long event, and that can only be done by depositing a ton of medallions. With that, Eva Levante will have a great variety of contender cards to choose from, divided between gold, platinum, and diamond. The diamond medallions awarded are worth a lot, and can change the course of the day, so you're limited to 2 a week. All medallions Guardians bank in the tower will be counted daily, and the crest of the daily winning class will be inserted into the tower podium, for everyone to keep track of their class standing. Depending on your contribution to the Guardian Games, you'll also earn glows, and the bragging rights that comes with them. One for being the best in Tower Guardian, another for being the member of the winning class of the day, a shoulder glow linked to your weekly performance in Rushdown, a second shoulder glow for your weekly performance in Supremacy and Gambit, and a bronze, silver or gold glow in the shape of a laurel crown, depending on your class's place in the Friday coronation ceremony. At the end of the event, the class that wins the most days will be crowned the winner, and their class item will change to gold until the next event, to remind everybody of their victory. With Guardian Games return, previous armor ornament sets are available in the Eververse store, along with a new set based on Gladiators for 2025. Guardian Games will be available from March 11th to April 1st, 2025. Act 1 of episode Heresy brought with it the new 3-player activity, the Nether. Set within the Dreadnought Patrol Zones, Guardians fight in random and varied encounters with different events and objectives every time. Inside the Nether, players will find unique modifiers and stackable buffs called boons. They increase your power over time. These come in minor, major, and corrupted versions, and various pickups can be hidden in chests and earned throughout the Dreadnought. The Nether has 3 modes: the Nether Exploration for those solo types who want to just explore the Dreadnought, a match-made mode on baseline advanced difficulty, and a selectable non-match-made expert version. From Act 3 of episode Revenant, we have the new exotic mission Kel's Fall, where you can earn the new Void exotic shotgun Slayer's Fang, and new Prison of Elders challenge Kel's Vengeance, which can be found over in the Last City for 2 to 3 players. Act 2 of episode Revenant brought with it the Tomb of Elders, and Contest of Elders over in the Last City, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of Act 2. Also available for a weekly pinnacle is the Salvation's Edge raid, over in the Pale Heart, and new dungeon Sundered Doctrine, which can be found over on the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality's Ager up for grabs, and a whole suite of new weapons and armour. Just make sure to visit Ikora over in the tower to pick up the quest Drowning Labyrinth to enter. Over in the Last City we have Onslaught Salvation, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of the opening act of Revenant. This new version of Onslaught brings with it new defences, 3 new maps and new enemies to fight. You can select from Widow's Court, Eventide Ruins and Kel's Grave, either normal or expert. Also, the original Onslaught has been updated to include some of the new additions. Located in the Vanguard playlist, the featured Onslaught map this week will be Mothiots, with a Fallen War Priest kicking off the boss rotation. In the Last City on the Helm, the exotic mission Encore is still available, with 2 difficulty options, normal and expert. Also, from episode Echoes, we have the 3 new Battleground activities, Delve, Conduit and Core, with Enigma Protocol and Breach Executable. The expert battlegrounds will start this week's rotation with Core. The Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Divilian Mist and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blindwell features Hive enemies and the Plague Kragar. The Ascendant challenge will be the Chimera Garrison over in the Chamber of Starlight Lost Sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a mysterious disturbance. The Trove Guardian and the Wandering Nightmare, the Nightmare of Hawkis, are both located in the Anchor of Light. Nightmare hunts Skolas, Pride, Fanatic, Insanity, and Omnigal Anguish. The Altars of Sorrow start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Zydron and the Heretic Rocket Launcher. On Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Asterian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. Dares of Eternity expert difficulty rounds are Taken, Cabal, and Zydron. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Pathfinder armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 4. Fractithis, Chrysia Milo, Volpicula, Wolftone Draw, Iotona Draconis, Canis Major, Contingency Plan, Legal Action 2, Outrageous Fortune, Steel Syllabus C14, and Spoiler Alert. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is The Last Chance, Altar of Reflections Catalyst, and Altar of Reflections Insight. The Wellspring activity will start the week on attack, with the Arc Auto Rifle come to pass and Goldmag Hive Ogre as the boss. The Lightfall Weekly mission is Breakneck, the Partition mission will be Ordnance, and the Vex Incursion will be Umshire Park. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The Final Shakes Cooperative Focus campaign mission this week will be Iconoclasm. The 12 Guardian Match-Made Excision mission is also available next to the race for a weekly pinnacle, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Salvation's Edge Raid Challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Verity, called Varied Geometry. The Kingsfall Raid Challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Totems, called The Grass is Always Greener. The Vow the Disciple Challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Acquisition, called Swift Destruction. The Vault of Glass Challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Oracles, called The Only Oracle for You.
The Garden of Salvation Challenge this week is the third encounter, Consecrated Mind, called Staying Alive. And the Last Wish Challenge this week is the first encounter, Kali, called Summoning Ritual. Featured Pinnacle Raid 1 will be Root of Nightmares over on Neptune, and featured Pinnacle Raid 2 will be the Deepstone Crypt over on Europa, with all challenges available for all encounters, with the Exotic Shotgun Conditional Finality being farmable from the final boss in Nightmares, and the Exotic Rocket Launcher Eyes of Tomorrow from the final boss in Crypt. Featured Pinnacle Dungeon 1 will be the Prophecy over in the Legends tab, and featured Pinnacle Dungeon 2 will be the Ghost of the Deep, also in the Legends tab. The Exotic Mission Rotator will be Operation Seraph Shield, with the Revision Zero Exotic Pulse Rifle being the main reward, the Season of the Seraph's weapon set, and Ikelos weapon set, with the Warmind's Avatar armor set. The Exotic Missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour will also be available in the Legends tab. This week's challenges are Rites of the Deep Part 2, Heretical Arsenal, Court of Blades Augmentation, It's Only Sword Logical, Court of Blades Void, Taken Slayer, Growing Power, Taken Banishing Spree, and Spark Defender. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Veil's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Wednesday Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome, Thursday Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City, Friday Rainbow Starlight on the Dreaming City, Saturday Hydroponics Delta on Neptune, Sunday Gilded Precept on Neptune, and Monday Thrillerdrome on Neptune. The Grandmaster Nightfalls continue this week with our 7th featured Nightfall, which will see us face off against Gorgath in the reprised Lake of Shadows over on the EDZ, with the Wildstyle Grenade Launcher as the featured adept weapon. The 6v6 playlist will be Control. The 6v6 quick play mode should be Rift. Survival should be in the Small Teams quick play. Hardware mix should also be available. And Guardian Game Supremacy will also be available in the Tower. Plus Trials of Size at the weekend. This week should also see bonus Gambit ranks available all week long. And as a reminder, the annual Moments of Triumph continue, with a collection of 33 challenges celebrating everything you've been able to achieve in this past year. If you've been active, you'll likely already have some of these completed, which just gets you closer to the 26 you'll need to earn the 2024 seal and title. Still available is the Destiny 10th Anniversary in-game celebration event, and don't forget to keep an eye on Zer this Friday at Reset to see if he's offering another chance to grab a random rolled exotic class item for 41 strange coins. And that's it for the 7th week of the Final Shape episode Heresy.
Speaking of Guardian games, like, I wasn't trying to play anything. I wasn't trying to dunk anything. I just, like, was passively completing them and picking things up, right? But even when I was dunking, I managed to get, like, one weapon on one of the many dunks that I had. And it happened to have been the trace rifle. And I don't know all the rows that it could get on there, but I got the one with the double magazine capacity and hold on, I have it on me. Overflow killing tally. That's the one that I got, and I actually quite liked it. But other people were trying to say that A, that's not the best roll you could get on it, and B, the Iron Banner was better. But the perk on this one says kills give you class ability energy, and I was like, that alone kind of makes it stronger than the Iron Banner version.
Yeah, but we've established this a long time ago. A god roll is a god roll to whoever's wielding it. If it's your god roll, it's your god roll. And I could understand that with the hunters. If you're getting kills in PvP, PvE, and you're getting your class ability back to then use your dodge, to use your invis, it's a no-brainer. So it is a god roll for maybe certain classes, or for you using kind of a different build. So yeah, it doesn't have to be the god roll that somebody else says is a god roll. It could be the god roll that helps you do what you want to do.
Well, my main concern is because it's an arc one, like the one that you get from Iron Banner, right? And as far as I can remember, and somebody will correct me on this, but they both kind of get the same rolls, don't they?
They're trace rifles, and who cares?
I mean,
I don't know. I have probably a half dozen from Iron Banner and probably another half dozen from the game so far. They seem like they have decent rolls on them. I mean, they're all arc things. So use whichever one makes you happiest.
Whatever. I was hoping I could get some more insight, because I did only get the one, and I'm hoping the one that I got is pretty good. But if it ain't, then, no biggie, because I wasn't really trying anyway. But if I did get a good one,
7,000 more if you tried halfway. Don't worry.
The Guardian game.
Oh yeah.
I've dunking things as I get them. I haven't gotten a single thing to drop besides that one thing. Like, my medallions aren't giving me anything, dude. They're just not doing anything.
You have to be a warlock. That's why. Points are made up, and nothing matters. I haven't seen them say it was fixed. I mean, maybe it is. I've been dunking on the Titan because, again, I just don't care. I'm turning them in to get them off my character to then make more. I don't really care what they contribute toward. But but the chests that you unlock give you all sorts of stuff. I've got just piles of weapons from that, and I'm going, I'm going to let you sit in the postmaster until I have time to figure out which one of you are worth keeping, if any of them.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing as well. But see, when those things get coming out and saying people saying you can't dunk on the Titan or the Warlock and it has to be on this character and that character, for a lot of the times when you watch like an Astrocross video and he's telling you you all need to be on your Titans and you because it's the only way that you can be dunking, I'm like, yeah, I do not believe you. And for the rest of the community to keep coming out and saying,
make the Warlock the Titans lose? Isn't he a Titan mate?
No, he's trying to make them. Well, he's trying to make them win before the glitch. Before Bungie was like, "Hey, by the way, none of these are. It's broken. Depositing on the two characters."
Yeah, so it was like I do not believe you. And then when there was like tweets and things coming out, do I believe Bungie at that point, or are they just trolling us? And I'm like, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Is it just that because sometimes they do put a tweet out saying, "Oh, do this on the we want the hunters to win, or we want." And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm not liking this.
Coming from Bungie Help, those tend to be, which I'm pretty sure this one was. I have to go back and double check, but coming from Bungie Help, those tend to be no. This is an actual issue we're addressing. Like they tend to keep that one, actually issue related, not just hey, let's poke some fun. if it was Destiny 2 team or Destiny the game or something else, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But that when they try to say, no, this is an actual issue that you need to be aware of.
Fair enough. Then I'll let them off.
Again, like. I saw that and I was like, I could do all that, or I could just go, I don't care. And I'm just going to deposit these, and you're going to hand me 1,000 weapons, and it doesn't matter who wins at the end, because right now the table just has a rose on it.
Yeah, but I see the problem that I'm running into is you say you're still getting weapons from dunking years.
You seem to just, I don't know what you did to your game many years ago that put you on like an alternate timeline of no loot. But you somehow live in this no loot world, and I don't understand because
honestly, I don't even know what weapons are dropping because I know you get the trace rifle, but that's the only thing that I've gotten to drop, and I've only gotten one of those to drop.
Hullabaloo, Terexapost, Title SMG.
Yeah, I've had all of them drop, and I haven't played it that much.
And I mean, and in addition, just all the seasonal stuff too. The new or the new episodic weapons I've had. Some of those drop from things as well. So, I mean, there's weapons they are a dropping. Now, if you don't want to get any drops, play trials. Then you'll get nothing to drop. And you can just play and then maybe win and lose. And when you win, you get things. When you lose, it just says, good job. Try again better.
I thought that you... Oh, wait, no. When you win, you get things, you said?
Yeah. The couple games I've won has been like, here's a weapon. Enjoy. I'm like, thanks. It's probably going to the trash.
Weekend? Excuse me, you played this weekend?
Yeah,
what weapon is this weekend?
The rocket launcher.
I got that one.
Which wasn't so much the rocket launcher. It was more that it was A, not the sniper, and B, I had a little bit of time to play, so I figured I played Supremacy and got my face kicked in there enough. Let's go play trials. Why not?
And you haven't done the Nightfall at all to get the Lotus?
I've done the Nightfall 5 or 6 times. I've got 4 Lotus Eaters that I need to see if any of them are any good.
Yes, but did you do the normal one or did you do the GM?
I did the normal one because I didn't have anyone to do a GM with because I was all alone.
Oh, baby. You should have asked. I would have come and helped you. I wanted to do it this week. I've done it twice.
You were probably asleep last night.
Probably, yeah. We can do it.
We can. Let's make plans after.
All right.
Let's get through the podcast first. Just hijack the podcast. Why don't you?
Yeah, but we could totally run it because I've been doing the GMs all week. The teams I've had, like the worst teams you get are the guy that comes in.
The worst teams you get
and dies
so far.
Blames you for his death. Calls you guys crap because you're not running in. Because you know how every room, every area, there's places you can go where you don't die and you can still kill things. This guy was not doing that. He's running in the middle, out in the open, and predictably dying a lot and just eating up our reses. And we're coming to res him whenever we're done clearing the area and we get to the boss. And Sure enough, he's down there in the middle with the boss, dying frequently, yelling at us like we're the problem, just talking all this smack to us. And I'm like, bro, it's safe up here. Do you see how you're dead and we're not? You see how I have the God roll and you don't? That should tell you that the problem here is you. And he leaves. And he's not the only one that's like that. There's a lot of people that just like run in because they don't know what's going on. They haven't done it or they think they're hot or whatever, right? And they're just going to be like, oh, I'm a Titan. I'm here to punch things. So I'm going to go up to the boss and I'm going to punch them. And I did see one Titan this morning run up and punch the brig. And I'm like, did you?
Sir, the brig is there for punching and raining down lightning. I don't know who told you otherwise. Listen, we've gone from consecration to punching. That's what Bungie said. Put up a wall and punch things. So that's what we're doing, just as a people.
You don't punch the brig because when you punch the brig,
you do punch the brig,
and then you die. And
the
then
brig
your
deserves
death
it.
orb is right next to the brig, and we're not resing you until that brig is dead. Okay,
it's just there to distract the brig. That's all.
It wasn't distracting. Oh my God.
So, episode Heresy this week, eh?
Did you do any of it?
I have totally ignored all of the Act stuff. I'm like, listen, I know you want me to go to the Dreadnought, but there's a whole Guardian Games, and I've done none of it at that point. So I was like, let me do some of that first, and then I'll get to the what I've heard is great story and Court of Oryx and
it's
all
good
that
story.
Kind of stuff. Court of Blades.
Court of Blades. You can call it Court of Oryx. We know what you mean.
Totally different, and technically legally distinct from the Court of Oryx.
I wouldn't get your hopes up about it. The 10-minute timer is really limiting, and I get the premise, and the premise is fun. But of the two seasonal activities, I think the Nether is way more fun than the Court of Blades.
The Nether, I think, is more fun to kind of be able to do solo or just in teams and just not really care about it. But you start playing the Court of Blades and you start playing it on expert mode, that's when the challenge then ramps up and you have to then think about your builds and your team composition and work together. And it's like, this is a good challenge. I like this challenge. I tried it with Blue yesterday and we just did a 2-man expert and we barely got through like the second encounter. The timer was like, nope, you've run out. You've had enough time to play here. Come back with somebody else that's more competent than you two. So, got to try it again. And again, I think we tried the Nether with expert and just the two of us, and we got to the last boss, and it happened to be that tormentor in the bubble, and I'm like, oh, we had
expert about Nether is easier
3 lives
if you know what you're doing. But
we knew what we were doing. We just accidentally lost lots of lives, and the Court of Blades is harder than that because you can't just like post up on one of the hills and go plink plink plink. There's mechanics to the room.
Yeah, and then you're being timed.
There's mechanics and you're being timed, and it's like I could do this if there was no timer. One of Peroty's old adages, I could do all this if there was no timer. So
don't rush me. I'm not here to be good and fast. I'm here to be good or fast. I can be one or the other.
Yeah.
So straight to death or competent.
Supposed to be because whenever I went in, I killed 12 bosses, and then we ran out of time.
Well, look at you. How did you do 12 bosses? It's only 5.
Well, it showed the number of enemies that I killed, like in the first column.
Just 12 enemies. You did really well.
The enemies I killed were like 190 something in the last column. The first column, which was like the big baddies, I forgot the titles that they used, but in my brain it's like bosses or whatever.
Yeah.
And there were 12 of them, right? And we went to
or in the Rushdown.
In the 4?
See, this is the thing with where you've got the Guardian Games thing and you've got the court thing. I did exactly the same thing.
I don't know what the Rushdown is.
Did you access it from the tower, or were you in the Dreadnought?
No. I had to go to the Dreadnought. I had to actually go to where Eris's apartment is and access it from a node in her apartment.
I was like looking for. I was just like going through all the different stuff, and I clicked on doing the Rushdown warm up thing for the Guardian Games. thinking in my head that that was the Court of Blades, and when I got there, I was like, "This isn't cool." Oh no, it's the wrong. Yeah, I
Riven, fancy seeing you here.
totally different thing, and I'm like, "Ah, yeah, I remember this. Yep, yep, yep."
I did the same thing. Like I remembered it was a separate thing, but I didn't remember. I feel like all of the because I keep confusing Rushdown with Showdown, and I'm like, that's a Crucible mode.
Yeah.
Why is this? Why are we doing Crucible this? It's like no, Rushdown's a totally different thing. And so I pulled it up, going, well, let me do the warm up. It's like, oh, I'm in the room with Riven, going, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to assume these two people will figure this out, and I'm going to keep shooting things until the numbers pop up. And yeah, it worked fine. Like just powering our way through, going, I don't know half these mechanics, but I can shoot things, or I have a vague recollection of it, and yeah, it all worked out fine. So got through it, got a bunch of loot for it. Like it's fine. It's another race to the We wanted a horde mode or a race mode, and Bungie's like, here you go. You want a race to do as many things as you can? Have at it. Here's all sorts of them.
I don't know how I got this weapon. I did it by completing a challenge or something, right? But it's a bow called Anemonesis. Anemone.
The sea anemone?
Anemone. It's an
Sea
anemone.
anemone.
And I got it, and I saw that it had destabilizing and Archer's Tempo, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, I'll try this in the GM, right? And then I remember that we have these fizzling mods nowadays, the power of resolve, right? That you get from the nether activities.
Yep.
And this one, rapid hits with the weapon emits a taken seeker. And I was like, why not? Because it's strong against unstoppable, and there's unstoppables in there, right?
Right.
But to my dismay, the bow was surprisingly good, and every other shot shoots this taken seeker, which does a decent chunk of damage in addition to the bow. So
Yep.
every other bow shot, you're getting basically two arrows every other shot, And then, of course, with Archer's Temple, you're shooting faster as you go. And, I'm having fun with this. And if you guys haven't used it, and I know you're not really bow users, but it's pretty good. And the power of resolve in general is pretty good. On the auto rifle, which is really the only thing that I've gotten that it will go on. Well, no, it'll go on the machine gun too. That's true. But
So are you using the demoralized trait perk, which is precision final blows cause nearby targets to become weakened?
no, the power of resolve is a mod that I'm using.
Okay. If you get the Amenonesius with the demoralized perk on it, there is a video that I will put in the show notes, which is they compare it to the Graviton Lance because of how it works and how quickly you can get kills with it, and how it can kind of use the demoralized perk on there. And I think they had demoralized, and then they had repulsor brace. So defeating the void debuff target grants the overshield. So you're getting an overshield. You're then causing targets to become weakened nearby, and then with certain mods and certain things on your armor and with your artifact, it's working like the Graviton Lance with a bow, and just explosions all over the place. I will stick it in the show notes, and when we get there, I'll tell you who it's by. But I just want to kind of point you in that direction. So if you get the
So that's weakened to nearby things,
yes,
and destabilizing is an explosion. See, the destabilizing is like AoE though. Are you sure? And not destabilizing?
no,
Because demoralize weakens, but destabilizing does
Demoralize.
damage. And that sounds more like a Graviton Lance.
no, it's the demoralized perk. But yeah, it's like there's so much in the game now. When it dropped, yeah, I mean, we joked about the Rites of the Nine, and we had Guardian games. We had the Act 2 stuff with the Court of Blades. There was Rushdown, which was part of the Guardian games, and it was just so much. It was quite overwhelming, and I think it was Renard, wasn't it, in the chat, was saying, I've got so little time to do, and I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it's like, break it down. Like Guardian Games is the thing that is only going to be around for the next 3 weeks. So if you want to get the stuff done for that, get that stuff done. If you then want to then focus on things like, I think we had the Bungie 10th anniversary stuff that is still going around, that is still available. You can still do that. You can also do your Moments of Triumph, which probably won't go away until we have Frontiers, which again, I'm a little bit concerned at that we are in Act 2 of Episode Heresy, Act 3 comes in about 2 more weeks' time, and we haven't really heard about the next expansion as much, apart from a little bit of concept art and a bit of talk about we may be going somewhere else. But apart from that, so that, the Moments of Triumph probably won't go away until maybe June when that happens. So you've got a bit of time. So Guardian Games is your main focus. Then you've got that you can kind of do over a longer period of time. The Act 2 stuff and maybe Act 1 stuff and the Barrow Dyad stuff, you can kind of do, double up and maybe kind of just do as you're kind of playing the Guardian Games or doing other things. Because, I think the Nether and the Court of Blades are still giving you medals. I do believe if you're kind of playing the activities with your class item on, make sure you have your class item on, because just don't forget to keep kind of turning that back on for when you have your builds. Yeah.
Every time you switch builds, slap it back on.
Yes. Or when you go and create your build and then put it or update your build. No, put your build on first, then put it on and then update your build. And the fantastic thing about this is it's Artifice armor. This is the first time that we've had, go and pick something up to do an event and we will give you an Artifice piece of armor, which gives you an extra 3 stats in the main priority of stats for free. So if you need those extra 3 points in your mobility, resilience, recovery, your super, then you've got an extra mod that doesn't cost you anything on your class item. And it's fantastic just to have. So that is now, I now regret buying the class item when we had the event that's recently just come up that you could get the Artifice armor from, because I was like, I'll just get the class item on all my characters. And then that way, and I think it was 2 of those boons that we had. I was like, I haven't got class items with Artifice armor. I'll get that. And now they've just given to every character.
Really, here you go. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Which I was confused because I saw some update this week and they were saying, we're going to add the Artifice to something, and I'm going, but you did that already. Or maybe that was just like they meant like after, because I basically, I was going to log on Tuesday and then I saw the messages about everything being broken by the time I got off work, and I was like, I basically was going to get on about the time they said, hey, we're bringing the game back down. I was like, okay, never mind. Wednesday sounds good. And then by the time I picked up my class armor, I was like, it's already Artifice. So I'm not going to ask questions.
When I first picked it up, it wasn't Artifice, but I couldn't be 100% sure.
Yeah, so maybe
when I then went back again, I was like, it's Artifice?
Whenever I first picked it up, it was Artifice, and I was shocked when I saw that. So
yeah, and it's really nice to have a something like that for the Guardian Games, and then you can use it forever afterwards. And I do believe that even if you've got another item, like you're using a different class item, and you put on the ornament for the Guardian Games for this year anyway, it will also count for the Guardian Games medals and things. So it's another little tip for you. You don't actually have to wear it. You can just put on the ornament, a bit like you do with your Iron Banner.
Nice. I have it on because I don't trust Bungie not to make it not work.
Yeah, there is
out of fear.
But I've played a little bit of everything this week to kind of try and catch up on what I was kind of missing from Act 1. I think I was still missing, various different things around the Nether and upgrading my tablet or my stone, whatever thing Eris had, and then continuing that into Act 2 and doing the story for that, finding the worm underneath the bridge to then give me a different version of the tomb thing. And I'm like, this is weird. And then I did see on, I think it was 360 Gaming TV, they did a video of where to go and find the worm, and I will put that in the show notes. If you're kind of missing story beats for Act 2, you can go and pick up another worm that will then give you access to a different version of your shaping slab. That's what it is. And once you've got that, you can then level that one up, which was a big surprise to people. But when I was doing that, I think the question was on the 360 Gaming TV is just, can you level both of the versions up at the same time? And I think I have been doing that because my one wasn't leveled up for the first act, and the second one has been leveling up. And I think my first one has also been leveling up as well. It's a little bit slower because it's closer to the finishing of the upgrade, whereas the new slab is kind of going through the chunks of it, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, before it kind of upgrades even faster, or slower. So yeah, I think it's working, but I can't 100% be sure because I didn't really look, and I didn't have. I didn't go to Eris's flat and select the other one and level that one up. I just saw that when I was doing various different encounters in the Nether and Court of Blades, it kept coming up that I was upgrading that one, even though I was still on the first tablet. So I don't know if you guys had noticed that or not, or if you've even got your
I'm
second
at the
one.
second part where you can get the new set of runes. I don't have a new tablet thing yet.
Ah. So if you load into, it's the easiest ways to do, load into the Court of Blades solo, and then don't run down the corridor. Go underneath that first bit where you spawn in.
I have that first one under the bridge. That one I
You
have.
have that first one under the bridge. So once you have that, I think you then go back to Eris's flat, and there is a little bully that is next, a bully on a plinth that is next to the shaping slab. You access that, you then or activate it, and then walk back over to the shaping slab, and you'll do a different animation for being taken, and that will show you that's the second slab.
Oh, is it? Okay, because I have a second row of runes, but I thought like I was going to get like a whole different subset of everything. So maybe I misunderstood.
No, there's a different upgrade path as well, and you get more rewards on that upgrade path, like you did with the first one. And you can access the runes for the Court of Blades on the first slab as well. So if you go into the armaments and things, it will tell you can access these Court of Blades without keep swapping over the slabs as well.
All right.
So
The story. I just remember when I logged in this week, going, okay, well this act is going to be 2 weeks. I've got Guardian Games for 3 weeks.
No, it's 3 weeks for this act. So the
okay.
time that the Guardian Games is around is the same as the act.
So they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
Good. So do some Guardian Games things, figuring out what I'm doing with the story, rinse and repeat. I'm definitely with Renard Calant this week going, there's entirely too many things to do. I have not nearly enough hours to do them all. But that's part of why I figured if I start with Crucible this week and do some trials, since it's a weapon I could theoretically enjoy, and once I make it to 7 wins, and if I just play enough Supremacy, that'll knock all that out. Because I know I can go do Nightfalls and things with people.
Yeah.
As far as trying to get anything else done with people, so PvP is a solo thing.
Just prioritize what you can kind of get done as and when. So do your Supremacy stuff, or even do your Guardian Games class versus class Gambit, which is hidden. It's hidden. It's quite funny. Is that it's not in the tower. You have to go to Gambit and then select Gambit, and the normal mode for Gambit now says class versus class. And I'm like, why not put that in the tower? Because that makes sense. And Supremacy.
There's 4 nodes there in iTeam, and 3 of them they needed for the new Rushdown thing. It's very important.
So there is class versus class Gambit available, but you have to go to the Gambit node on the Director. Supremacy is on the Tower Director, and it was last year, but it was also in the Crucible node, as I believe. So it's not there this year, and the Rushdown is only in the Tower. Very confusing. So
who's on first?
It's funny. It's just funny that you can do those things.
Yeah, there's too much to do. Entirely too much to do. But I'm having fun with all of it so far.
But I did see a video from, I think it was Lucky 10p, that the Guardian Game shader that you can get from the free track is one of these animated ones again, but it changes color to red, yellow, and blue for the whole outfit. So we did have, I can't remember the name of the shader that we had one year that just did like various different bits on your armor. If you wore the Guardian Games armor, it changed color, didn't it? It rotated through the different colors, the gold, the red, and the blue.
Was it Photo Finish is the one in the track. I don't remember if that was the name of that one too. I don't know if it was a different Photo Finish or I
think it's Photo Finish, But the new one, and I don't remember the name of it, hopefully I think it's on the one that you can just get from free for just doing the event, just turn in loads of medals for, is the one, but I didn't kind of catch the name of it from the Lucky 10p video. But hopefully it's not the one that you have to buy the pass for. Because, yeah, I always avoid getting the passes. I'm like, there's nothing, unless it was a Star Wars pass, then you'd have my money. You'd have all the money. But you've already done that. You've had my money. That's enough.
Yeah, it has to be a really good.
Yeah.
There's the Godly Array is for banking medallions in the podium. That's that shader on the path of just bank enough medals, and you'll get the Godly Array shader.
Maybe it's that one.
I'm guessing that's one. What's the claim instantly upgrade? Because the instant claim upgrade is the winning look. If you buy the package, you get the winning look shader, which does
it's that one then.
Does not appear to do anything fancy, or just doesn't look good on the Stormtrooper. Hard to say which. And everything looks good on the Stormtrooper.
It does. So, Respawn, have you done lots of various different bits in the game this week?
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I thought I did.
Nightfalls.
Until
done your Nightfalls,
y'all started talking. I did a lot of Nightfall Grandmasters.
I think that's also another thing that's thrown a spanner in the works, isn't it? With the Grandmaster, with the new Void sidearm, Rocket's assisted sidearm, and it's double loot, and it's double Vanguard points, and you're like, oh, what do I go and do? Do I go and play that? Because that's not even involved in the Guardian games this year. Because last year we had the node, didn't we, for go and play your Nightfalls, and you got medals and platinum medals and gold, whatever. You can get some medals from just doing stuff in there, but it's like there's that as well. Sorry, continue.
No, I mean, yeah, along those lines. So I was like, yeah, no, I definitely want that. And then they brought it out on where you could get double loot drops, right? And then the rolls you can get on it. There's so many good rolls, right?
Yeah.
And I got the Adept Repulsor Brace destabilizing, and on a different roll, because even though I can get double perks on them came with all these came on different guns. But anyway. So, I also got the Reconstruction Destabilizing, which apparently is the God roll, even though I don't have a mag perk to give me the bigger magazine, but it's still really good. And then I have the Repulsor Withering Gaze, and just for good measure, I have a Reconstruction Withering Gaze, just because it sounds good.
Your guy just says, get good, scrub, don't miss your shots. You don't need the extra ammo.
Yeah. Which is why I personally didn't think that was the God roll. I went for the Wombo combo first. That was my main one. And then after that, I was like, might as well get the other ones while I'm here, kind of situation. I do like it. It is fun. I used it for a bit, but then I got, like I was talking about earlier, this bow.
The bow. Yeah.
The bow. Man, it's a primary weapon. No, I mean, it's just because I have this mod this season. When this mod goes away, this bow probably won't be anywhere near as good as what it is now. But
what's the mod do for the bows this season?
It
for those
gives
of us
you,
who don't remember bow mods.
Well, it's not a bow mod. It's a seasonal weapon mod for nether weapons. And this one is the Power of Resolve. Rapid hits with this weapon emits a Taken Seeker projectile, and it also makes it strong against unstoppable chance. So yeah, and it does what it says it does, for sure, and it's really good until that mod is no longer a thing, in which case I'll probably go back to using the Lotus Eater. So either way, lots of that, and then of course did the nether stuff. Found out that they changed the champs that pop in the nether expert mode. So it used to be unstop only, and now they have overloads in there. So you might want to change your load up before you go in, because what you had before won't work anymore. So yeah, gotta change your load up for that. And then I did the Guardian Games thing where I tried to do something, and then the game's just like, nah, Chief, your medals don't count here, bro. Use that currency somewhere else. And I'm just like, all right, I got this one gun, and Bungie says that's all I'm ever allowed to have forever and ever, amen. And that was it. And then you guys apparently did a lot more than I did. I just did a whole lot of one thing.
Yeah, I was really debating, do I just go play the one, do I go pick my favorite thing and just do that, which I kind of did with just sort of binging the Supremacy first. But yeah, there's just so many things. Like I wanted to get some Lotus Eater rolls to look at. I wanted to get Guardian game stuff done. Again, not because I care about the games itself, but just there's good loot. There's usually one or two weapons from that I end up keeping that are worth it. And everything else is, they just throw so much loot at you. It's like, how do you even keep track of it all? Yeah, but the Lotus Eater looks like great fun, and yeah, it's hard to try to decide what to focus on. And I've been on at weird times this week where it's been early or late, or I just had like a half an hour here or there, so I wasn't able to do anything with people. But maybe that'll change.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
Mm-hmm.
But what have you been up to, guys? What are y'all looking forward to after the Guardian game has now concluded? Did y'all get any gun rolls by chance of any of the modes that y'all were partaking in?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm like, I've got loads of rolls of various different things, and a bit like Peroty, I'm like, I'll keep it and look at it. I did get one of the trace rifles, the Corinus, with triple tap and rolling storm. What else did I get on it as well? I got another one that had overflow and killing tally. There was another one with overflow and rolling storm. The recycled energy and detonator beam one. And then I had one that had overflow and jolting feedback. So, yeah. I got some rolls. I've kept them. And we will look at them later.
I like the overflow killing tally. It's been pretty good. It's actually been pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. In my mind, I was like, if I overflow the magazine and then the killing tally just keeps going and with more damage, like, and I just keep picking up the ammo, and maybe that would work really well on my warlock with that hood or that helmet. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, even on my hunter, I was getting enough bricks to kind of keep the magazine full without having to swap. So now that you mentioned the warlock with the helmet, it does actually make it sound even better.
Yeah, the cenotaph mask. So
yeah,
and the other week I did buy the ornament for it because I used some of my bright dust when that was available because I thought I really don't like that stupid looking long nose Resident Evil looking character. Just I want to get the one with the ornament. So yeah, I put the ornament on it.
I wonder if there's any warlocks out there that use like a triple. It's not a linear fusion rifle. Triple trace rifle builds with that.
Well, you can, can't you?
I know you can. I just wonder what the ammo economy is like. Because if you have to get ammo, then you're limited on the ammo that you have. I mean, I'd assume it's gotta give you the green stuff or the heavy stuff. I mean, swap to the heavy stuff. The green stuff. I don't know. Sounds fun. Cool. Maybe one day may have to win. I'm bored. Just saying words at this point.
Oh dear. Well, should we have a look at what's happened with our updates and This Week in Destiny or the TWAB? Yeah. Okay. So, Peroty, is there anything that is worth kind of noting that we haven't already gone over in the update 8.2.5 this week?
That's a great question because I was trying to track all the things and what they've put where and where they have things. So I'm just going to say there's probably things in here we should talk about, but because there's a lot here though. So just a quick, we may not read every last thing, but let's just see what we got in our 825, and maybe that's the answer to why is my class item now Artifice armor where it wasn't before. So there are a bunch of changes to the Nether, reduced taken damage from the sharpshooter's burden, and damage taken to health from the fragile strength. Your paracausal payload was not providing kinetic weapons with extra damage, and the paracausal siphon was not providing buffs to elemental damage. They also fixed an issue where lore books were not being correctly rewarded, so if you've been looking for those, maybe those will drop now. Lockdown didn't award or display any medals. Just, it didn't feel like it. They did a bunch of changes with trials. Basically, they rolled back the change where they said, hey, we're going to put you in with the duos and the single people against the trios, and we're going to forgive that. They were like, things are breaking and not working right, so we're going to roll that change back.
Is that why it's not been good for you, Peroty? Is that what you were complaining
Oh,
about?
no, that has nothing to do with it. I'm just bad. Me being bad has nothing to do with the game itself. They did fix that Iron Banner issue they've been telling us about for the last couple of weeks about the stasis and strand thing being different. So when Iron Banner comes back, that'll matter.
That's on the 1st of April.
Well, there we go, for the 1st of April. So they fixed it before it comes back. Good job. Vesper's Host, which was broken and you couldn't get into it at all, that now you can get back into it. They did fix an issue where the first encounter where a nuclear core wouldn't spawn after activating all the correct panels. So if you're trying to maybe run that, that'll be more successful. They touched your sealed Amankaro's grasp. They fixed the issue where a Nightmare Field bonus damage would be reduced by 5% while radiant, and an issue where if you held the weapon, you would not receive the Nightmare Field damage buff after getting a melee or finisher final blow without the Nightmare Fuel active. This does not apply if the Nightmare Fuel was already active after getting the melee or finisher kill. If the Nightmare Fuel meter is not empty, damage boost is active. So, I don't know what any of those words meant, but Hunters, maybe that makes sense to you. They also touch Iridian dance machines, because there was an issue that could cause extra dodge charges to be lost when transitioning between bubbles and various activities. So that'll work now. Your Shards of Galanor fixed an issue where this exotic could refund extra energy for super instead of just Blade Proj and Silk Strike.
Okay, Panda.
And for your relativism class item, your Spirit of Galanor fixed an issue where the Spirit of Galanor was refunding less energy than intended for non-roaming supers.
Yay!
So, win some, lose some. On Titan, your no backup plans, they fixed the issue where the intended shotgun damage bonus would be reduced by 5% while you are radiant. So now when you're radiant, you'll get 5% more damage. Your Kepri's Horn, they fixed the issue where the solar waves from the Kepri's Horn would not break stasis crystals, because fire does not beat ice, and rock now beats paper. We live in upside down times. Your Hazardous Propulsion, they fixed the issue where the benefit from the enhanced rockets buff would be reduced by 5% while radiant. So lots of things that were radiant are now unbroken. There's some leg armor stuff from the Sundered Doctrine that'll now be available that you can use. We have flavor text on weapons from Vogue. Waveframe swords, fiction issue where the waveframe attack did not do damage in PvP.
Excellent.
So if you're using waveframe swords in PvP, they should now damage the enemy. They made those changes to the lightweight pulse rifles that I don't think matters because everyone's still using the same things. Sword Logic they made some changes too. They reduced the base damage for kills in PvP from 20 to 15%, and increased bonus for kills against players in supers from 35 to 50 that we talked about last week before. Your Facet of Blessing, that was broken. They fixed the issue where final blows from certain melee abilities such as Consecration and Thunderclap would not trigger health regeneration. So your Facet of Blessing while you're using Prismatic will actually bless you. They made the Hunter Smoke debuffs and on the Prowl changes we talked about.
Which does nothing now. Thanks for that, Bungie.
Well, yeah. So that does nothing, and Respawn's very happy about that. Hey, piercing sidearms will now pierce the things they're supposed to pierce. So that's probably good, since sidearms is one of those anti-champion weapons. And hey, when the Iron Banner comes back on April 1st, your new Iron Banner weapons will now progress the Orman's Taste Triumph, where it wasn't before. And yeah, updated the International Silver Purchase confirmation to use the current episode's artwork, which I know everybody was very upset about. And also your Chatterwhite shader is now appearing in your collection. So there we go. Lots of things we talked about. A few new things they snuck in. Nothing about Artifice Armor, so that changed at some point. Maintain the mystery.
And if you're worrying that we're kind of delaying, that there's so much information in the TWAB this week, fear not. There is not, because we've already talked about it, basically. So for the 13th of the 3rd TWAB this week, they tell us about the Rite of the Nine, not rights. It's Rite of the Nine. Get it right.
Just the one.
Yeah. That turned up early, yeah. Act 2 has arrived, yeah, we've already discussed that. Guardian Games, yeah. Updating your Guardian Games class item. So they cover that. So we've already talked about that. Bit more on PvP tuning. We haven't talked about that yet. Respawn, they're going to be removing exclusive full screen, especially for you. It's all just for you. The Sundered Doctrine show match winners, Guardian Games Rushdown Roulette update, Bungie rewards, Women's History Month, and Bounty for Good is here. So yes, Tuesday was full of surprises, wasn't it? Because Act 2 shipped with new activities, rewards, story content, plus Guardian Games went live. And somehow, the 9 decided to throw a wrench in our machine with an early preview of the Rite of the 9. They blamed their own will. I blame somebody at Bungie, basically. That was there, and it snuck its way in, and they've turned it off. That's it, basically. There was placeholders for weapon rewards. All featured temporary art was fake perk rolls. User interface was not what they were planning to ship. Difficulty options don't have the tuning pass that they were planning for Explorer, Eternity, and Ultimatum modes. So those are the new modes. I wonder if we're changing all the names of all the modes now, or is this just going to be the Rite of 9? Could be, could not be, but it's there. And yeah. And they did say that you get to keep your rolls if you did do it. They won't be removing them from your inventory when it does ship in a couple of weeks. But the perk rolls will be updated across the board to prevent some breaking combinations, which is incandescent or chill clip on a void weapon. So there you go. You got your thing. It's going to change. They can do that. So there you go.
Enjoy it, screenshot it, put it up on your fridge while you can.
Yeah.
And Bungie, please give us a skin to make our weapons look like unfinished game assets, because that would just be really funny.
Or just crayons.
Yeah, just crayons. Give me blank things that I can just scribble in myself.
Yeah. So Act 2 has launched, and we've got more Eris, more Drifter, more Sloan, sort of. I've seen text from Sloan. I haven't heard Sloan yet. I've heard other people talking. And yes, Court of Blades is here, the new activity, with more than 20 bosses to defeat, 5 new weapons from the heretical arsenal to earn, new catalysts for the Barodiad. So there's so much to go and do. So go and do it. There's lots of stuff. And then Guardian Games.
Another thing I've totally forgotten about is I started the Barodiad quest, and then I did the very first piece and then haven't done anything else on it.
It's okay, but it's one of those things that is just like long-winded. And if you need to watch a guide, because if you don't watch the guide, you're like, I'm stepping on this thing, I'm shooting the thing, but it's now changed if I'm in a different part of this updated exotic mission. So yeah, follow the guides.
Yeah, go to this lost sector, do this, see the thing, walk this direction. I was like, I'm not going to remember any of that. So that's a sit down with a cup of coffee one weekend morning and say, all right, we're going to get this weapon that maybe is better with the new things they were just released for it. Maybe it's just as bad. I don't know. Not bad, but just not amazing. Basically, I didn't wake up and see everyone go, oh my God, they released a new thing and now it's incredible. So I'll go, I'll get to it when I can. On the list.
And then, double rewards in the Nightfalls, so you can get your Lotus Eaters like we've talked about, and giving you our kind of versions of what we've got, or Respawn has. And then they want to remind us, coming on April 1st will be Act 3. It's less than 3 weeks away. We're getting our new heavy metal PvP game mode, and then the Rite of the 9 officially should be here. And yeah, that's what's coming. That's what's here. There's so much to do. So it's just a non-stop roller coaster ride of things to do, fun to have. I've not heard anybody complain that they've got nothing to do now. There's something for everybody to do now. There's PvP updates, there's PvE updates, there's boss rush modes, there's Guardian game stuff to do. There's just so much to do. Thank you. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
they even slightly adjusted Gambit, which was on nobody's bingo card.
Exactly. So they've updated or upgraded our Guardian Games class item. So for the next 3 weeks, you can grab your Guardian Games Cloak, Bond, or Mark, and it's beautiful, and it's totally worth it, and it's given us Artifice armor.
I'm very convinced. It's beautiful, and it's totally worth it.
It is just for the Artifice.
You can
it is if you don't have
you can put an ornament on it though and make it look like something that's not as ridiculous. That's the important part.
And then when they officially get round to saying you won on that class, that item will then either be gold, silver, or bronze, depending on your standings at the end of the 3 weeks. Then you can wear it if you're gold or bronze or silver. It doesn't matter, because sometimes the silver ones actually do look nice. But
There you go.
yeah, there you
You're
go.
going to put a shader on anyway, so it won't matter. It'll be whatever color you want it to be.
So we do have another PvP tuning preview. So over the last few weeks, we've been watching and engaging with combat in the Crucible and taking some notes. And they've recently taken a pass on Bolt Charge due to the high damage that they intended in
Boo.
PvP. This week, with update 8.2.5, they've released some changes. Redrix S-Stock, the lightweight pulse rifles on the prowl, and smoke effects. And again, from what you were saying and from what I've heard from the community, hasn't really done much. I mean, they have nerfed the sword perk on it. What's the perk that's on the Redrix with the crossed swords? Sword logic. They have nerfed that, but apparently, according to top PvP players, it doesn't really matter to them. I mean, you could 2 burst before, you could probably still do whatever you can kind of do with it. So there you go. But we've got some updates for what they're going to be looking at changing going forward. Snap skating.
What?
Warlocks do snap skating. It's an unintended movement technique that gives players some great advantages in map control and general movement during combat. While this can be enjoyable and fun to master, this presents some rough balance issues within PvP space. So not just 3v3 modes, but 6v6 as well. So additionally, this is creating an issue with readiability of opponents mid-combat. Guardian bodies can become warped, stretched when skating, making it very difficult to fight opponents mid-skate. In a future patch, they plan to address this. Closing time. Closing time perk grants some great stats when your magazine is low, especially when enhanced on special ammo weapons. As players always spawn in with low special ammo, for now, wink wink, these stat buffs are almost always on in Crucible, making various weapons perform a little bit too well in 1v1 combat. Zealot's Reward, as an example. They're going to be tuning that in a future patch, so use it while you can, I guess. Hipfire exotics. So Tommy's matchbook has become a frequent conversation and rightly so. For many years, this weapon has been a little bit of a sleeper in terms of strength of its baseline improvement hit functionality. So with the recent changes to the Radiant Dance machines, we're seeing more hunters pulling this exotic out for some silly hipfire only builds. It's not silly. It's devastating when you go up against it. It's not silly. We're not calling it silly, like they did with Dead Man's Tale and The Last Word. So they're going to be tuning this interaction in 8.2.5.1, so next week basically. So you've had your time in the sun, the Radiant Dance machines with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they say 8.2.5.1, which should be the next one, but then they said they'll have more details in a future TWID, so maybe it's not coming next week.
Anytime the hunters find something, they immediately nerf it. Every time.
But you do get an upside with it. We will also be re-enabling Dead Man's Tale and The Last Word to interact with the Radiant Dance machines with a much more limited set of buffs that do not increase range, but still provide them with some amount of increased accuracy.
So where's the positive? They're like, oh, we're going to give you back.
They're re-enabling you something. They're re-enabling something.
They're re-enabling something without the thing that we wanted it to be re-enabled with. Yeah. Real positive.
And then there's a big nail that's sticking out of the floor called the Radiant Dance machines. It's surged in popularity in the Crucible the rework, but the increased usage has not been unilateral. In fact, we've seen nearly 3 times the adoption on mouse and keyboard compared to controller. After recent issues with the Lodestar's hipfire precision aim assist being significantly higher on mouse and keyboard than controller, they dug a little deeper into Radiant Dance machine setup and realized that the same issue is present. In 8.2.1.5, they'll be normalizing the precision angle threshold bonus provided by the accuracy buff between the controller and the mouse and keyboard when using the Radiant Dance machines, and have corrected the issue in a few other places that it could appear. For example, legacy framing intrinsics on the Redrix S-Stock and the BXR Battler. And this will reduce the ease of getting critical hits when hip firing on mouse and keyboard when paired with one of these items, and should bring the effectiveness into line with controller, basically. So there you go. Cheaters. That's what you are. Cheaters, hunters.
That's aggravating.
You weren't using it in PvP. Doesn't matter to you.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like here in the freaking hard mode or expert mode nether, the Overload Taken Goblin constantly shoots those retaliatory things at you. And in a place where you can't freaking heal, that is incredibly oppressive.
Because he's tired of being abused. He's not going to take anymore.
Yeah.
He's fighting back.
Mm-hmm.
But what they're going to do to help you improve stuff is they're going to have a look at map lighting. So regarding lighting, they've been watching the conversation around our recent Trials of Osiris weekend feature Solitude. And there are a few spaces on the map, doors specifically, where players can feel blinded by exterior lights or have difficulty identifying enemy barricades due to the warm lighting of Mars. As such, the map won't be featured in Trials for the remainder of this episode. There you go. Got it taken out now. Look what you've done. You've broken it. They're also going to be looking. They're also going to be looking at other examples of other maps having rough spots when it can be hard to see. While they can't promise immediate action or changes, they're looking to get in some bug fixes for the future opportunities to either tune the light or make changes to help combat in those spaces. And they're going to continue to monitor various strategies and weapons within PvP, provide additional details for future tuning paths when they can. But Respawn.
Yes.
Are you happy about this? They're removing exclusive full screen.
I don't know what that means. I
Well,
manipulate my
let me share
anyway.
the news with you then. They want to share some news today about an update coming to the PC version of Destiny 2 when Codename Frontiers launches later this year. Later this year. As you can guess by the title of this section, well, Respawn can't, but we're going to have to go into it. They plan to remove the exclusive full screen option in favor of windowed full screen, which will be renamed to full screen then. The windowed and borderless window options will stay as they are now.
Oh, they don't already have that? I use third-party software because of my ultra-wide to force it into that mode. There you go.
Cheater. Third-party software.
So maybe that's one of the things they're doing to address things like that. I don't know. I read that and I was like, okay, so it's instead of true full screen or hacky full screen, it'll be windowed full screen. Seems like we're going to make it slightly different.
Yeah, I'm remembering now why I had to get the software, because before what would happen is in the mode that I'm talking about now, right? Or in the mode that they're talking about getting rid of, you'd have the windowed mode or you'd have the full screen, right? Obviously the full screen is not what I wanted on my ultra wide, because I wanted to have other things going on at one time, and then having Destiny that wide was making me nauseous. So I wanted it like right in the middle, like a 1080p size, right? So
you can play on a giant projector size screen. Come on,
right? No, but the problem is the only way to do that was to put it in windowed mode, but it would put the window border at the top, which would force part of the game to be below, like, even if you didn't have your Windows bar at the bottom, it would still put the game like below like the bottom of the screen. So like a lot of your icons at the bottom would be cut off because of the Windows bar at the top, right? So that was causing a problem. So I had to find a third-party software that would like make a full screen mode on a windowed platform. That way I could have the full screen without the borders, but also not have it maximized at the same time.
Yeah. So, like basically say, I want you to be full screen, but full screen with only part of my screen.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's okay. So that's a windowed full screen. Because I read that and I was like, I'm sure this will make sense, but it's not making sense at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, we'll let you see your game in the full screen you want to see it in without all the extra crap around it.
Indeed.
And you won't have to be a cheater to play the game anymore. Cheater.
Yeah. They said that it was recommended by the partners, their technology partners recommended this update as it offers performance that is good, if not better, than the traditional exclusive full screen option. Allows for faster alt-tabbing switching, which we know is very important for many Destiny 2 players that use third-party tools and websites, and better integration with modern display features. Here we go. And we have some winners.
Yes, I am.
Over the course of Act 1, streamers from regions that I'm not going to read ever again participated in the Sundered Doctrine show match, where the winning region teams had 2 hours to run the Sundered Doctrine as quickly as possible. The winners have been crowned, and they're pleased to announce that the team from the Middle East, composed of Special Hero, Quasar, and Irreverence. Reverence. There you go. I said those ones again. Took the top spot with a
Did you
whopping
though?
speedy time of 11 minutes and 26 seconds. And I'm going to keep talking because I don't care. The team will receive a full set of Sundered Doctrine Bungie reward items available from the Bungie store and 200 Tier 1 Switch gift subscriptions each if eligible. How well did your fire team do? Our fire team just disbanded at the first opportunity, basically.
What's a
Not
fire
that
team?
well.
Yeah.
Not 11 and a half minutes well, that's for sure.
Yeah. It took us that amount of time to go, nah, this isn't for us. Last week, we had God in Games Rushdown Roulette announced. Teams are still going, and there's stuff going on. And there's teams, and I'm not going to read them. Just There's teams from every region. There you go. Don't forget about the competitor's contender emblem, available via a gift subscription on Twitch during the entries of the God in Games to an opted-in creator or being given away by the above creator participating in Rushdown Roulette on stream and socials. There you go. Your favourite streamers are there, and go and check them out.
Oh, there you go. And the only warlock for the Middle East was part of that winning team. So I mean, clearly they're the best warlock in that region. Period. Full stop. There is no competition. There can only be one.
It is hard to argue that logic.
Now there's new jerseys from Bungie. You could get your jersey.
New Jersey.
And then you could have your jersey. Yeah.
Not that jersey.
You could take your New Jersey to New Jersey, but you can't go left. It's not allowed there.
Okay.
I don't get that reference either, and I live in America.
There's no left turns in New Jersey.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's fun and very confusing. I mean, I'm sure there are somewhere, but that's my memory from being in New Jersey going, no, we don't have left turns. We have these ridiculous right roundabouty things because we can't trust you all to make left turns. We've taken your abilities away. For those of you who are excited to dive back to the Dreadnought and the new Court of Blades activity, they have a new Willbreaker long sleeve shirt that says Willbreaker, or it could be confused for your favorite heavy metal band. I'm not going to tell you how to wear it, but they've got that for you. So if you do that, you can get that and earn that challenge by the 6th of May, 10 a.m. You can order that. And they have Spray Ground Destiny 2 collaboration with a brand that it's very, very fashiony, because we are nothing here of not very fashion forward and in tune with all these things. So you too could have a very pretty backpack with an angry opening mouth that looks like a giant worm that wants to eat your face, or a pretty bluey ghosty one.
It doesn't look anything Destiny apart from the ghost on the bluey white one, and it's still got the mouth and things. They look nice. I mean, looking at them and they're very well built, and they've got little Destiny logos on them, and you've got it looks like you get a little plushy ghost on that white and blue one. But I'm not sure if
I'm not really sure the Destiny piece of that. Yeah, the First Light and Ghost backpacks. I'm like, you can say it's First Light, but it just looks like a giant gaping maw. And I clicked through, I think one of these, they've got the links in there that take you to the Bungie store, and they had, or no, where did I see now? They had some artwork with people in like a guy wearing full camo along with his backpack. And I'm like, but sort of orangey camo. I'm like, well, that kind of looks good. That kind of looks thematically correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I don't quite see the Destiny-ness of this all.
No.
It's yep, there are colors. You can have them. We're going to say it's a Destiny collab, but sure. I don't understand fashion. You don't understand fashion. So if they say it's a crossover thing, we'll say, sure, sounds great. Why not?
It's $100 though, or $120 for the. It's $100 for the orange looking one, and $120 for the white and blue one, which roughly, looking at it here, is about £98 for UK and about 110 for the Ghost one. 117 euros for the orange one, and that's as far as I've got looking them up. So yeah, they're expensive.
But then you have a cool collaboration backpack though.
I do need a new backpack, but I don't know if I need a new backpack. That amount of backpack, maybe one for £10, not £110. Don't get me wrong, I like it. But it doesn't. It doesn't scream Destiny to me.
And I don't have that much money for a backpack. Sorry.
No.
Yeah. I mean, the blue one has a ghost. It looks very reckoning-y. Trials of the 90s got that same like light blue and the ghost on it. But yeah, like the big gaping maw design, I don't quite get why does it need a big mouth. Maybe that's Spray Ground's thing. Again,
Maybe.
We don't know things. We're old men talking about video games on the internet.
Shh.
It's a monster, bruv. We fight monsters.
We do.
Sure, that's a thing too. We can celebrate Women's History Month with them, and you can get another emblem for that. How do we celebrate
the
it?
same emblem that we got last year, though. So if you've already got it, you've already got it.
You can make
But
your
you can
$10
also donate
donation to Women's and Games International or not through the Bungie Foundation campaign. Or not, minus Tiltify and payment processing fees. But are you ready for the bounty for good? My team is ready. He's so ready.
I was ready,
Born ready.
but now I'm not ready.
That's not
well, it's too bad because the wait is finally over. I know you've been waiting, but it's finally over. Their first Bungie Bounty for Good of 2025 is happening next week. Join us on their Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Bungie Foundation, Wednesday, March 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. UK?
Yes, for now, yeah.
I always have to remember, I'm like, it's still the same number of hours, even if our times are different, maybe? Yeah. So yeah, they're going to be hanging out, raising money. They're going to hop in a Crucible, taking on challengers. And they're going to be supporting the Women's Game International. So if you don't want to give them money for that, go watch them get beat up on people in the Crucible. And they're going to be doing that. If you match them, they have lovely emblems you get for that too. So good luck if you can jump in on a Wednesday in the middle of the day and play the video games. And if not, then you can just watch and be sad that you cannot. But you know who's sad? The known issues list.
Oh.
Although at least they've removed some things from the known issues list. So let's see if we have new and exciting known issues. So we have, when speaking to a vendor, you can still hear their ambient dialogue. Not new. The Ionic Sentry sometimes doesn't chain lightning enemies. But sometimes it does. But sometimes it doesn't. If you're trying to do your Drowning Labyrinth quest, you still can't get past steps 6 and 9 on some players. And it still has to do with the count scoped thing, so get your other character to that same step and hope for the best. Sometimes, not all the time, in the Derealize exotic mission, the taking relic can drop below the surface during the risk encounter. Sometimes, but not always. The Shrieker bosses, it's still going to say you're doing crit damage, you still aren't. When tracking Ikora's Drowning Labyrinth quest, completion of certain steps may stop progress on the next steps. Now again, Bungie, does this relate to the step 6 and 9? Or is this just any step may or may not be broken? Unclear. Sometimes, your Tomb of Want primer does not progress after meeting step 3 and 4 requirements. Still. Memento shaders can be previewed on armor. Still not a thing they're looking to bring into the game. Preview it, screenshot it, have a laugh. Never happening. A new issue, the Lotus Eater Rocket Sidearm, shows incorrect numbers in its kill tracker. And your Guardian Rank 11 Triumph Solo Spelunker and Master Spelunker displays Vesper's Host as the requirement. I'm assuming it should not. But Guardian games and Guardian ranks are made up and don't matter. Ooh, but Guardian games, don't worry. We have broken things for that too. So Rushdown's completion chest does not have a waypoint indicator on its location. So just go find the chest. There's 3 of you. I believe in you. You can work together to find it. Your 4 daily bounties only show progress bar. Sorry, your 4 daily bounties only show the progress bar for one element. This will not affect your progress. You'll just think it's not working. The weekly milestone quest is partially cut off when viewed on the details screen. You don't need to see the whole thing. None of those words are important.
Working as intended.
And Taking Flight is the name of the new hollow chip and exotic ship. The ship will be renamed in a future update. So they have that new hollow chip where you can, I think, put wings on and run around, like they gave us the other thing to put on and run around. It has the same name as a ship, and they're like, no, we can't have 2 things with the same name. There's many names in the world. We're going to find a new one. And that's it. Everything else is beautiful and wonderful, or it's just on the known issues article that you can go look at if you really care about. Like the Taken Failing shields we talked about last week that they were like, we're aware of, but we're not going to tell you about. And we've got Warlock artwork, and we've got... Did you watch the There Goes Flawless video this week? because it's demoralizing. So if you haven't, it's worth a watch. It involves a burning mall and deep sadness, but maybe not in the way you're thinking.
Okay. Nice cliffhanger there. Like he either made it all the way to the end and then failed, like on something stupid, like falling off a cliff, or he just did terribly and just, I don't know, bad things happened and he's just sad panda. I don't know. But what a cliffhanger, man.
BD, all the above. And that's it. That's the end of the TWAB, and I don't. Let's see. Did they say anything that's actually still happening? Because I have a whole bunch of things for the report, and then it was like, no, you fixed that. No, you fixed that. No, you did that. Oh, they do say, hey, remember when they talked about last week going, you're not going to be able to unlink your accounts at a certain date in the future? March 25th is that date. So, that was the whole thing last week about, your Twitch account, you can link and unlink to Bungie accounts. That's Twitch. We don't care. But if you're playing, Steam, Epic Games, PlayStation, Xbox, if that account is linked to that Bungie account, if your Xbox profile, your PlayStation profile is linked to that Bungie account, you will not be able to unlink it. So if you're over at your buddy's house and, playing, linking your Bungie account to his name, or if you're doing account recovs, or any reason you have people on your Bungie account you do not want there, or for some reason your Bungie account is connected to not your, gamer tag or whatever your PSN ID, whatever your PSN gamer tag is called, you have until March 25th to fix that. Because after March 25th, so 10 days as we record, so not this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday at reset, you have until then to unlink those things. Otherwise, it will not be possible to remove them ever again. And they'll be forever linked. For most of you, this won't matter, and you're going, yeah, we don't care. They do have a whole Bungie, bung.ie/unlinking page that gives you all the details. If you're going, this sounds scary, what do I need to know? For most of you, nothing. Don't worry about it. And again, this doesn't involve Twitch. So if you Twitch from different accounts or different places, no big deal. That you can still unlink. But everything else, you can't. They are investigating an issue where some players may encounter soft locks within the Court of Blades after completing encounters as the countdown timer hits 0. When encountering this issue, players will need to manually leave the activity. Stay tuned for updates.
And so I found that in the Nether as well, that there was a couple of places where it says destroy those bubble things, and we destroyed the team of us. We would destroy the bubble things that just stuck on the walls and all over the place, and it went 2 of 3, and we needed 3 of 3, and there was just no enemies in the whole area. We destroyed everything. There was nothing. And that happened
missed
twice.
A bubble somewhere. Nope, you missed a bubble.
No,
bubble.
No,
there was bubble shenanigans afoot, and it was your fault.
3 of us looked. I swear to you, 3 of us looked around for ages and just couldn't find anything.
And the 3 of you are bad at looking for things.
Probably, but I'm just saying it happened twice in different areas.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So yeah, so if you get to the end of those and your timer hits 0 and you're stuck, you just have to manually leave and then go do it again. There were issues early in the week with the Sundered Doctrine Dungeon, Salvation's Edge Raid, gosh, and the Excision activity where you just couldn't launch them. That's all been fixed. You can launch all 3 of those now. Right of the Line was up and down. Their Hunter Vanguard Crow is very disappointed with the fire team of hunters that forwarded a 100% incorrect message through VanNet today. Guardian Games have no clear winner on the horizon. So we learned that VanNet is their system for communications. So make of that what you will. And that's from Destiny 2 team. They also tweeted out, didn't think we'd be sending an email titled, Jimmy, aspect of placeholding has returned to Guardian Games Rushdown. But here we are. If you haven't hopped in yet, Rushdown is our Boss Rush Guardian Games activity. Jump in and teach Jimmy a lesson, will you? I'm not sure where Jimmy is appearing in Rushdown, as I've only done one of them. And the bosses rotate daily. But apparently Jimmy is there. Aspect of placeholding. So say hi if you see him. And and we identified an issue with our 3v3 solo versus fire team loss protection can sometimes be affected by networking conditions, causing it to fail. So it's better to protect solo players until it's resolved or until it's resolved. They're walking back those changes. So that was a change that they, we're going to protect your check your solo progression, and they're going, it can make things break, so we're going to turn that off now. Sorry, Respawn, you were going to say something
Uh,
about Jimmy?
yeah, I guess. Like, is that like a boss's name? Or something?
I'm guessing there's some placeholder artwork
Yes,
somewhere.
it's in, you know, the Whisper mission at the end where you have to fight those 3 bosses, and
Yeah.
then you then have to destroy the blights and the witches over on the 2 platforms. Jimmy appears there
Okay.
Oh, fun. Okay,
because I read it and I was like, Jimmy,
yeah.
when did
Yeah,
we have Jimmy there?
I mean, remember they mentioned they referenced Jimmy for they had a placeholder somewhere. I couldn't remember where else it was or which boss it might be. Well, there you go. So if you get that one, then yeah, maybe you see Jimmy. And then the rest was just tweets about the maintenance being up and down and DMG asking for your beautiful screenshots of your Red of the 9 weapons that are very, very broken looking. So any videos worth watching this week? I know you've mentioned a couple as we've gone.
Magtics and Plunder the Booty have more build videos.
You can't just keep throwing them names out. Don't
Yes,
throw
I
the
can.
names out.
Because they're awesome.
They are
Mhm.
awesome. They're also linked in the show notes. Always.
Does Plunder have anything new out?
I thought it was Plunder. No, Mashix?
Marshix.
Marshix. That guy.
Marshix.
That guy, yeah.
Different from Mactix, Mactix or TICS.
Magtics does. Plunder the Booty does not. Magtics and Marshix do. Plunder the Booty does not.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
Yes.
Well, I mean, 2 days ago, Plunder the Booty put out this Warlock build can carry Grandmasters. So you don't even know. You don't even know who's got new things out.
Look, we don't normally go to him for YouTube stuff. He follows what we tell him to do and where to go and look.
That's not true. Normally, I do
It
look
is.
at those guys. At the time I looked at Plunder the Booty, he did not have new videos up.
Well, you
But
looked more than
Magtics
2
did.
days ago.
Yeah.
I guess I did.
So, with Act 2 dropping, my name is Biaf has given you a bit more of a lore update. And it's not the winner, apparently. That is the eyes and the tentacles. It's an unnamed master of the Taken. He doesn't know specifically, but he gives you a few ideas of who it could possibly be. So go and check out his video, 21 minutes long, if you want to catch up on your lore. The How to Unlock the Path of Ambition, the Shaping Slab Ambition, which is what we were talking about, where you find the worm underneath the bridge. 360 Gaming TV has the video on that. There's some more worm spawn. There's 8 Tithing worms in Nether Collectibles, so 360 Gaming TV has an updated video for that. Fallout Plays has the Hidden Exotic Catalyst quest for the Barrow Dyad upgraded. So we've got that as well from Fallout Plays. The best damage. What is the best damage for the trace rifles in Heresy? And Azukos has rigorously gone through and tested all of them for you. So that's 35 minutes long if you want to go and check that out. We then have, say, Wallabra telling us that the Mirror Embargo is amazing. And this is what he's been waiting for. And it looks really good in PvP.
What
with
is that?
Target lock. It's the submachine gun. It's the Strand submachine gun that dropped
new
with
one
his
that
act.
just came out? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's got a perk combination that is only available on, I believe it's adaptive. I think they're adaptive. Just double check. I'm telling you these things. Mirror Embargo. Mirror Embargo.
Don't
adaptive.
delete them all without checking.
And I believe he had Target Lock on there. And I can't remember the second perk off the top of my head.
Target lock and overflow. I think that's what we talked about last week, wasn't it? Overflow
Could be,
target
but
lock.
he was definitely saying about Target Lock on there. And with it being an adaptive frame, that it's like one of a kind. And it was doing really well in PvP. So you can go and check that one out.
You can only get that from the sword logic thing, right? The new
yes, from the
activity.
Court of Blades, yes.
Court of Blades, yeah.
Go and do Court of Blades and go and do whatever you need to go and get it.
I
We
want
have
it, but
the-
I don't want to do that activity.
The Lotus Eater, Astrocross has got a guide on the God Roll, so don't miss out. But it will be back around. Let me just check my rotations because it should be. We've got 7 weapons available in 9 Grandmasters. So technically, it should be coming back around. Let me just double check. Working out some numbers. 1, 2, 3.
Tic Tac, Patty Whack, give a dog a bone. 19 minutes coming home.
Remove the one they have to take out because it's buggy.
That's all of them.
6. So it should be back at the end of April, but it might not be a double drop at that point. But again, it's a different Nightfall from what it is now. So you take your chances, realistically.
Talking about Nightfalls, the whole you can only have 10 of the Nightfall ciphers is
No, you can't.
Didn't
It's
they
gone up.
adapt to 30?
30.
okay.
Same with the trials.
Today,
Today.
I was maxed out at 10. I had
Get
10.
good scrub.
The
Get
little
good scrub.
icon was changed color. I could not get any more. So today, this morning, I had to spend them because I was maxed out at 10.
Okay. Well,
Well,
maybe
well,
we haven't
I'm
changed
not
it for you.
talking exotic ciphers.
In-
No, I know what you mean.
No,
The
wait, no.
Nightfall
Well,
ciphers.
The Nightfall ones.
In
We
Frontiers,
buy
are,
the Nightfall.
in
Yeah,
Frontiers
those
they're
are
going to
still
30
10.
then.
Okay.
Then it's in Frontiers, I think they're going to 30. They're going to 30 at some point. Who can keep track on when?
Okay.
But yes,
So they
yes,
are
current-
moving them up. That's
Yes,
really
currently it
annoying.
is 10. Yeah, because it was Nightfall ciphers and there was something else they were going to do the same thing on because there was an absurdly small number of them. And now I can't remember what. Yeah, so yeah, I'm guessing at Frontiers that's going to go to 30 from 10.
That's much better.
And the video I was talking about was from Unknown. This new bow is essentially Graviton Lance as a bow, the Ammonisius. And I think that's
Yeah.
the way you say it. And
I
that's
have
the way
no
I'm going to say
idea.
it.
It is now.
It is. And keep a check on Cheese Forever because you may miss out on various different kind of glitches and
You've got that
game-breaking
video?
things
I'm gonna look that up, by the way.
that could help you with like doing stuff in the game. Because every time I was at work, there was one posted. By the time I got home, it was patched. So yeah,
Yeah.
keep an eye on him. He's amazing.
Maybe you can get yourself a free trials passage and maybe not.
Yeah, maybe.
Or free flawless, maybe not. Without being good.
Who's the video about the bow? Who was that?
Unknown.
Unknown.
Is his name unknown or you?
Yes, it's
Okay.
unknown.
His name is unknown.
Okay.
Donut.
Speaking of donuts,
Mm.
you know how we're able to afford donuts from our lovely human patrons who said, "We appreciate you doing a podcast and eating donuts at the same time." Or grits. It's hard to say. It's hard to say where the money goes. Probably directly into Destiny, into silver, piles of silver for all the good Star Wars things. And how are we funded? By our lovely, wonderful human beings like Zep Orbit and Renard Calant, who cannot be threatened with a good time. Our Outer Dance Troupe, the Outer Dance Troupe of the Scarlet KM and Dedicated Wham 64. Our Grenade Throwers of Golden God 1562, Noble, Fire Squad 1688, The Man Conan Texas, and Feral. And Deacon's Day 1 Raid Team of Gravy Jeff. Thank you to each and every one of our lovely patrons who help us make this thing happen and keep Night Demon in tea, Respawn in donuts, and me just in caffeine. Pure caffeine straight to the vein.
Don't eat donuts. Why? Because I'm fat, you assume I eat donuts? That's a little racist.
It's part of the story. Also, I'm the fat one. And until next week, thank you for joining us. Your Titans, your Peroty, Night Demon, your Hunters don't want to respond to real life. You should find this show wherever you get your podcast. You can email the show to titansandahunter@hotmail.com. You should go to YouTube for every new episode, every weekly update video. Night Demon puts in countless hours figuring out what's going on with the game. He is in the game telling you what's new to buy at the store instead of exploiting glitches. That is his dedication to you, the people. If you shoot to YouTube, give us a like, give us a follow. Everything's there. If you're going, what weapons are up this week? What do I care? He tells you, and he has nice little chapter markers in every video. So if you're like, I want to know a specific thing, you can just go right there. Boom, bam, leave the like, and you're dusted and done and on your way. If you want to be one of our lovely patrons who can keep us in all of our lovely things, patreon.com/TTH. If you want to leave a more casual encounter, coffee.com/2titans and a hunter. If you want to, when he has both the bandwidth, the power, and the foresight, twitch.tv/no-one-responds in real life or twitch.tv/2titans and a hunter. Go there, hit the button. You never know what's going to happen. Until next week, maybe we'll go shoot things. Maybe we'll be rushdowning. Maybe we'll be in trials. Trying our best not to get shot in the face. Until next week, say goodbye, gents.
Bye, Jim.
Hurrah!
Everybody. Deuces.
Deuces.
Arrivederci. I don't know any other languages. Adios. There you go.
Adios.
Hasta la vista.
No.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.